It's 7 p.m. Welcome to News 360 from the News Hub here at Adisawa in Accra. I am Mr. Moni.
And I am poacher. Coming up the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxipade
and Piccadilly Biscuits, My Life Insurance.
Forestry Commission calls for public support to trace poacher who shot wildlife guard in the Kakum National Park.
Motorized tricycles, also known as Pragya, the preferred choice of transport for residents of Dormahinkro in the Bono region.
And tonight, we bring you the story of Bobby Amon, an autistic servant.
In Mission tonight, contractor on Doma Central Municipal Education Office block returns to site after TV3 mission report.
And later in international news, Iran says an emergency meeting with parties to the 2015 nuclear deal with major powers was constructive. We've got all the details, including sports and entertainment, starting soon. Stay with us.
We first begin from the Central region, where the Forestry Commission has urged the public to assist them identify a poacher who shot a wildlife guard in the Kakum National Park. The victim, Eric Bukari, was on official duty in the Kurwa beach of the Kakum Park when he was shot at close range by the poacher who was spotted killing games in the national park.
Forest and wildlife protection in Ghana is becoming dangerous for persons tasked to ensure the wrongdoings are curtailed. At least 5 forest and wildlife guards have lost their lives in the line of duty, according to records available to the Forestry Commission. On Wednesday, July 24, another wildlife guard, Eric Bukari, became the target of poachers at the Kruwa end beat of the Kakum National Park in the Central region. According to the report, Eric and 2 other guards were on night patrol around the national park when they heard gunshots and began tracking the poacher. The team, after a while, spotted the poacher and ordered him to surrender. However, instead of dropping his weapon, the poacher fired at Eric at close range and bolted. The victim was later rushed to the Cape Coast Government Hospital, where he underwent nearly 4.5 hours of surgery to remove the bullets. Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission, Kojo Owusu Efriye, visited the victim on Saturday and decried the unprovoked attacks on the forest guards.
Very sad to see very hard-working staff who are doing their normal work and then get, caught up in this crossfire like that. First of all, let me thank the doctors and nurses and the staff of the hospital for the professional manner in which they handled this emergency. The person, we are told, was a poacher and without any provocation whatsoever, shot with a view to killing this young man. But this is part of the problems that Forestry Commission staff goes through from time to time. And so it is sad that our people who are doing their normal work should go through such attacks.
He further called for public support to identify the culprit.
And we want to warn the general public and poachers. They should be extremely careful. We are not there to confront them. We are not there to kill them. And therefore, this aspect of the first reaction is to shoot and kill people is uncalled for. We are asking that the general public should assist us in apprehending whoever was involved in this crime.
Wife of the victim, Ekuya Wusua, expressed gratitude for the support extended to her husband and wants his assailants identified to face justice.
It is only by God's grace that I'm seeing my husband today. At the moment, we thought he had left me with the 3 children. We are grateful also to the doctors and nurses here at the Cape Coast Government Hospital for dedicating their time to save my husband. I'm now appealing to the public to help in identifying the man who shot my husband. He must face the full rigors of the law.
Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwo has proposed a joint jungle warfare and combat training among the security services in Ghana. The Member of Parliament for Bimbilla noted the growing counter-insurgency in the sub-region requires an all-round security preparedness at all levels. He was addressing the closing ceremony of the biennial counter-insurgency training exercise at the Jungle Warfare School at Achiase in the Eastern region.
The 2019 and 14th edition of Exercise Tiger's Path was held between Tuesday, July 23 and Friday, July 26. It's aimed at testing a cross-section of the armed forces in jungle operations, internal security and counter-insurgency operations at the sub-unit level. The scope of the jungle exercise involved tactical drills, first aid, tactical casualty evacuation, platoon administration, offensive operations, helicopter vectoring and marshalling, marksmanship, physical fitness and endurance, confidence building and patrolling techniques. Other disciplines were jungle survival, combat triage, medical evacuation, navigation, ambush operations, obstacle crossing and range work. The Defense Minister, Dominic Nitiwo, said there is a need to involve all other security agencies in the vigorous exercise in view of the growing global security and terrorism threat.
Other national security services play the frontline role. This underscores the need to bring together the police service, the fire service, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, NANMO, and the Ghana Immigration Service to participate in future joint exercises of this nature. I will employ the Ghana Armed Forces and all other security agencies to ensure that in 2021 they participate from day one to the end.
The defending champions, Southern Command, maintained their dominance in the biennial exercise, beating competition from Northern, Central, Navy, Air Force commands and support services. Best team in first aid went to Air Force. Central Command took the offensive operations trophy, whilst navigation and best individual open range shooting went to the Navy. Southern Command took best obstacle crossing, with helicopter vectoring and marshalling going to Air Force. The Northern Command and Central Command came third and second in the overall rankings.
In other news, the Bairabon No. 5 Health Center in the Atrimamponia district of the Ashanti region has received a delivery bed less than a week after TV3 reported on the challenge. The bed is expected to facilitate the smooth delivery of women who are in labor and visit the facility.
Lack of a proper delivery bed has been a major challenge at the Bairabon No. 5 Health Center, compelling women in labor to use a rusty delivery bed. On Wednesday, July 17, TV3 reported on the state of the delivery bed amid other challenges facing the health facility. Appalled at the poor state of the delivery bed, the Chief Executive Officer of Peace and Love Hospital, Dr. Beatrice Riafi Adai, has donated one delivery bed to the health center. The multi-purpose bed is expected to improve delivery services in the facility.
I must say that bed should not be used because it's such that a woman can even receive some lacerations, trauma, whilst using it. We have a spare one in our hospital, so why don't we donate the spare one to the women in the community?
A nurse at the facility, Matilda Apia, commended Peace and Love Hospital for the intervention. She was optimistic the bed will facilitate smooth delivery of women in labor.
Staff at the facility continue to appeal for a standby generator to curtail the practice of using mobile phone touchlight to perform critical services in times of power outage.
And Asantehin Otumfuo II has commended government over steps being taken to streamline the educational sector. He, however, entreated government to take stakeholders' view on board in the reforms for industrial peace. Otumfuo was speaking at the 53rd congregation of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi.
A new universities bill is expected to be laid before Parliament soon, though a section of the academia are of the view that a bill will undermine academic freedom. Government says it would rather bring all public universities under a common law. This, according to government, would, among others, make the administration of public universities less cumbersome and more efficient. Adding his voice on the draft bill discourse, the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II has urged government to accommodate divergent views by stakeholders before laying the bill in Parliament.
I understand there is also a proposal to draft a comprehensively new tertiary educational policy which seeks, among others, to merge the National Council for Tertiary Education and the National Accreditation Board. Again, I will entreat relevant stakeholders to fully participate in the process to ensure its smooth takeoff.
Speaking at the 53rd graduation of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the Asantehene charged the council and management of the university to reposition the institution to fulfill its mandate as one of the top 10 in Africa. Vice-Chancellor of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Kwesi Obiri-Danso, said the university is establishing a campus in Obuasi.
We'll be running courses in electrical and electronic engineering, civil engineering, mechanical, materials, geological, geomatic, environmental science, and some courses in business administration. We have also established the Faculty of Educational Studies.
Speaking on behalf of government, Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Wusuefiri Akoto, assured the gathering views from stakeholders on the draft public universities bill would be duly considered. A total of 7,105 graduated with first degrees, 121 with masters, and 51 with PhD.
Let's go to the Bono region, where motorized tricycles, also known as Pragya, has become the preferred choice of transport for residents of Domahinkro and net adjoining communities. The business, according to residents, has reduced petty thievery in the municipality.
This is the preferred mode of transport in Domahinkro, Wemfi, Brekum and Techiman. In Domahinkro, the capital of Doma Central Municipality alone, there are more than 1,000 smaller tricycles providing transportation services to the indigenes, and they can cover more than 5 kilometers to serve people in border towns between Ivory Coast and Ghana. Pragya, as the motorized tricycle is called, remains the cheapest but the most dangerous vehicle to commute with, because the vehicle by design has no doors to guarantee the safety of passengers. Despite this, it still remains the #1 choice for commuters and gradually overtaking the market of taxi drivers. With 1 cedi, an individual can afford the service of Pragya.
Taxi no muji 15 when so nya 1 cedi bia betime ubenya bia fra ko bia okobia.
Taxis charge 1 cedi 50 pesos for short distance, but with Pragya, one can cover a further distance with 1 cedi. If you get a competent driver, he will take you to your destination safely.
Taxi adwuma group ma say omuna mu kra obian because Pragya no ofra nipa no robakwa kwesi okwan no.
Taxi business is no more vibrant in this community because Pragya has taken over the market. In fact,
it is a preferred choice for especially the women because the service is affordable.
Pragya has a loading capacity of 3 passengers at a time, but operators overload because there are no stiffer regulations of their activities. In fact, this has become a lucrative business with lots of the youth engaged in it. The news team was told the introduction of Pragya in Domahin Kro has mitigated the rate of petty thievery in the area and provides job for motor mechanics.
Before
the introduction of Pragya, petty thievery was on the rise, but the situation is no more. The youth, including unemployed graduates, are engaged in it and now making money, so the habit of stealing is no more.
The Municipal Assembly also rakes in a lot of revenue from the activities, especially on market days. However, most operators have no driver's license, and so accident is imminent.
Cars get involved in accidents, so is Pragya.
Some operators admitted the reckless driving, but attributed the situation to the influx of tramol addicts in the business.
Who usually get involved are those who drive recklessly and are on drugs. They lose control after they become high.
Doma Central Municipal Chief Executive Drisa Watara was of the view the Assembly would not ban the activities but explore avenues of sensitizing them.
Looking at the patronage, you dare not, ban them from the municipality. So what we are doing is to support the police to monitor their activities and also enforce the law. So as an assembly, somewhere last year, we invited officers from the DVLA and then the road safety campaigners to educate them on the need for them to go for regularization. If you are not licensed to drive or to ride, you don't have to.
The world is an evolving place indeed, from taxis to Uber and now to Pragya. Well, let's see how it goes. To other news now. They have an unusual or exceptional aptitude for a particular activity despite their significant impairment in other areas of intellectual and social functioning. Savants are persons affected with a mental disability such as autism who exhibit exceptional skill or brilliance in some limited field. Now, in the following report, Wendilaye and Zoe Anita Odei threw more light on savantism.
The U.S. National Library of Medicine explains Savant Syndrome as a rare but extraordinary condition in which persons with serious mental disabilities, including autism, have some island of genius. The skills are generally related to memory and may include rapid calculation, artistic ability, map making, or musical ability. Savant syndrome also occurs in other developmental disabilities or in other types of central nervous system injury or disease as well. Meet 22-year-old Bobby Amon. He was diagnosed with a mild autism spectrum disorder at birth. Bob has a thing for dates. You could call him a calendar man.
3rd November 2005.
3rd November 2005, Thursday.
Whoa! Can we give another one? 6th March 2009.
6th March 2009. It's on Friday.
9th January 1999.
Saturday.
Whoa, amazing! Clap about me.
Bobby was born premature at 8 months with a birth weight less than 1 kilogram. Principal of New Horizons Special School, Vanessa Edu Akosa, says Bobby's talent was discovered 5 years ago in class.
During a citizenship lesson, and then he said, I can tell you what day you were all born. And To the teacher, it sounded quite strange. So the teacher challenged him, well, I was born on this date. What day of the week would that be? And he said it. They went around the classroom and he said everyone's name. So we thought, oh, if he has this gift, it's rare. I mean, you hardly find people who have this. We don't know how he does this because mathematically, he's not that sharp. He's good in literacy and all that.
On his own, he is able to do some house chores like sweeping and washing. Genevieve is a single mother. She lost her husband when Bobby was 7 years old. Genevieve is proud of her son.
Students from James Madison University volunteering. So they were calling, asking him their dates, and he was calling and they were saying it's correct. And they called, he said it's correct. Then they were telling me that, hey, our professor talked to us about this thing. And just when we came to Ghana, we are seeing this. It's a good talent that he has.
Bobby has displayed a knack for basketry and enjoys listening to music.
Bunanie, Bunanie, Bunan. No one else like you.
We ask Bobby what he wants to become.
And a computer programmer.
A consultant psychiatrist at the Whole Teaching Hospital, Dr. Eugene Dodoy, says persons like Bobby need special education and training where their talents can be identified and developed.
The fact that they have a learning disability does not mean they have impaired intelligence. It's up to the society to be able to find out what can this child do, what can this person do, so that we develop each and every one in their field where they can be very good at.
Dr. Dodoy called for a change in the mindset and perception of persons with disabilities.
We need to appreciate that and not label them as idiots or imbeciles.
The Sustainable Development Goals 4, 8, 10, 11 and 17 challenges all countries to provide equal opportunities for persons with disability. And for persons like Bobby, the support to explore his hidden talent could be a step in the right direction. And for Bobby, it could be the support to become a computer programmer.
Wow, Bobby's indeed talented, Isa.
I would say he's gifted,
yeah.
Isn't he?
You're watching News 360 from the News Hub. We have more news coming up shortly. Do stay with us. Mission is supported by the Star Ghana Foundation with thanks to Danida, UK Aid and the EU. The contractor who abandoned work on the Doma Central Municipal Education Office block has returned to site. Stanley Niblew reports PA has also been restored to the rented facility serving the Education Directorate. Well, this was after TV3 Mission aired challenges affecting the discharge of official duties by staff.
Regulators of education in Doma Central in the Bono region have heaved a sigh of relief as two major issues confronting them are being addressed. In March this year, when the mission team visited the Municipal Education Directorate, staff had reported to work but none of them was seen working. Our checks with authorities revealed that Power Distribution Services Limited PDS had cut power supply to the Directorate because they were indebted to the tune of 14,000. As a result, staff did not work for 5 days.
When teachers bring letters we need to act on, we need typing, printing, we cannot do it. Even the assembly needs some records from us now, but it's on their computer. We cannot retrieve it until we get the power. So it's actually a big killing. The earlier it's restored, the better for us.
The apartment accommodating staff of the Municipal Education Office was rented more than 3 decades ago after the initial story building had deteriorated beyond habitation. The Ghana Education Trust Fund Get Fund, in partnership with the Doma Central Municipal Assembly, intervened to construct a new office, but the project stalled 8 years after commencement. 4 months on, the mission team decided to follow up on the project. And there was good news. Power had been restored to the Municipal Education Directorate. The mission team's further checks revealed the Municipal Assembly stepped in to defray part of the bill after the mission report. Now, staff are diligently discharging their official duties. The contractor has also returned to site to continue construction work on the District Education Office.
per our records, the assembly had paid enough money to the contractor. So if you go there to measure the kind of work done, it does not measure up to the payment that we have made. So we made it clear to the contractor that not until they return, we're looking forward that within the shortest possible time, they should be able to at least finish the project so that we can also hand it over to the Ghana Education Service.
The project is steadily progressing. Tiles and plastering works are advanced, while sealing and fixing of doors are yet to be done. Municipal Chief Executive for Doma Central Dresser Ouattara said the contractor would be requested to do a significant amount of work before any certificate raised for payment will be endorsed.
We remain in the Doma Central Municipality of the Bono region, where the Municipal Assembly has started the construction of a multi-purpose kindergarten block for the Drenjidie Basic School. As Stanley Blewe reports, the intervention comes after TV3 Mission aired the story about the danger their structure posed to teachers and pupils.
The Drenjidie Basic School has more than 100 pupils attending from 4 adjoining communities to get formal basic education. In March this year, when the mission team visited the school, the team reported about the deplorable condition under which kindergarten pupils receive education. Structure sheltering them had deteriorated over the years, posing severe danger to pupils and their teachers. The availability of the school feeding program had increased enrollment. But teachers were worried much has not been done by authorities to address the infrastructural challenge of the school. District Chief Executive for Doma Central Dresser Ouattara then assured the mission team of the Assembly's commitment to address the infrastructural challenge of the Drenjidie school. 4 months on, the team went back to Doma Central to ascertain what has changed in the school. The Assembly has commenced construction of a new kindergarten block designed to include 2 classrooms, restroom, indoor play area, washrooms, among others.
I'm sure it is because of your visit that we are seeing this new KG block being under construction. It's going to improve teaching and learning very, very great, in the sense that because of the presence of the structure, I'm sure it will entice other pupils who are of school-going age and have not been enrolled due to the nature of the old structure.
Municipal Chief Executive for Doma Central Dresser Ouattara said the project has been scheduled to be completed within an 8-month period.
As an assembly, our area of priority has always been education, especially the preschool, talking about the kindergarten or what have you. So as I promised you the last time, we've been able to get some funding from the district development facility, and as our priority, we thought that we should go straight into the building of those structures. I mean the kindergarten blocks that you are seeing now. So if you go to Kofi Asua, we've started one over there. If you go to Drenjidie, we have also started another one there, making sure that we give our young ones a befitting place to study.
One problem of the school is being addressed. However, more resources will be required to also address the challenges at the primary level.
And that's it for Mission. Mission is supported by the Star Ghana Foundation with thanks to Danida, UK Aid and the EU. Thanks so much for watching.
Right, let's move on to some other stories on NEWS360 tonight. The Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Akoni, has urged government to pass a Mineral Revenue Management Act for the mining industry. According to him, the law will ensure transparency and rake in more revenue for government.
Mining poses a risk to communities around the catchment area and also to workers. Safety is therefore key. Speaking at the Intermines First Aid and Safety Competition, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Akoni, stressed the need for government to rake in the needed revenue from the sector. This, he said, will aid in government's development agenda.
It is in this light that we continue to urge government to pass a Mineral Revenue Management Act for the mining sector. Aside from providing clarity on how the funds are utilized, such a law will also promote good governance and effective management of revenues from the mineral sector.
The occasion was to educate staff and mining communities on first aid practices deemed necessary for all due to the risk involved in mining. Speaking on the theme, Life is Priceless, Drive Safely, the Managing Director of Pesos Mining, Kofi Ndede, said mining firms have put in measures to protect mining communities.
We all know that the mining industry was once viewed as a risky environment to work in. How about the interventions on our various sites? The mining community. We are experiencing a safe mining environment, but unfortunately the roads have become more dangerous than mining.
A host of mining firms took part in safety activities, including delivering medical assistance to patients in case of emergencies and first aid practices. Adamos Resources and Damang Mines won awards in the miners and the Community Safety Brigade categories.
In other news, a judge of the Court of Appeal, Justice Gertrude Tokonu, has called on the general public to make continuous effort in educating the girl child. Speaking at the launch of the Legacy Girls Scholarship Fund, she said their aim is to help tackle the incidence of young girls on the streets across the country.
The Legacy Girls Scholarship Fund has been established with a governing board of leaders of integrity in different industries. The fund is aimed at providing financial aid to scholars of who do not have the means to finance their education. Justice Gertrude Tokuno is a judge of the Court of Appeal.
So when you give girls the tools, the skills, the resources for building great people, you know the nation is the only beneficiary. It's a national duty to educate women.
She lauded Ellen Hagan and AC Anosaki for starting Legacy Girls College, calling for more of such projects in Ghana.
So that girls will be encouraged to learn leadership skills and should want to be in leadership positions. And it's because we believe that there's so much that women can do, and given the right environment, they're able to achieve so much more.
And now, Deputy Minister of Education has emphasized government's resolve to commit resources into technical and vocational education and training in the country. Gifty Chum Ampofu, who is in charge of technical, vocational education and training, says resourcing TVET institutions is critical in churning out skilled professionals to drive economic growth.
According to Deputy Minister of Education, Gifty Chum Ampofu, Ghana's competitiveness depends largely on the productivity of its skilled workforce. She said government is therefore investing in technical and vocational education to help develop the country's requisite manpower. Addressing the 11th congregation of the Mampong Technical College of Education, she noted all fragmented TVET institutions are being realigned under the Ministry of Education for standard coordination.
We are undertaking structural reform by setting up a TVET commission and dedicating a whole division of education service to technical and vocational education, which will have its own Director General to ensure that issues about TVET are given the maximum attention it deserves.
In its bid to deliver quality technical education in the country, the Mampong Technical College of Education has been selected as a center of excellence in technical education. In 2018, the college was supplied with over 2,000 pieces of assorted science, ICT, technical and vocational equipment to facilitate quality teaching and learning. Principal of the college, Doris Boachi Ansa, was appreciative of the assistance from government in resourcing the various practical workshops.
We have only 2-year groups. They are accommodated all right. But as from next year, when we have the 3-year groups, it will be difficult. Get Fund has also started a 3-story building, hall of residence for us. But unfortunately, it's not completed. So we are appealing to Get Fund to release some funds so that the contractor can complete this.
The Mampong Technical College of Education is the only wholly male college of education in the country. Authorities are appealing for the construction of a multi-purpose auditorium and the completion of a dormitory block, which was started by Get Fund and has been stalled for years.
And tonight in entertainment, ownership of a lyrical phrase has become the subject of debate between Ghana and Tanzania on social media. The phrase, coined by a popular Ghanaian musician, has generated arguments on Twitter. Do you have an idea of what that phrase is? Here is Taliban's report.
If you have been following social media trends, then you may have probably noticed the phrase Skopatumana making massive waves and a trending argument on Twitter. The lyrical phrase Skopatumana gained popularity when some Twitter users decided to give it what they say is its true meaning. Now becoming an internet jargon used to ask an opinion or experience over a particular subject, the debate of its ownership is also in the trends. Though associated with Ghanaian hip life artist and rapper Patapa, reports of a Tanzanian national affirming its rights is generating a row on Twitter. At Madewanzi, a guy from Tanzania tweeted, Swahili word, Skopatumana to the world, proudly Tanzanian, proudly Swahili. The conversation is catching up on Twitter. The viral phrase was first introduced by Ghanaian musician Patapa in the song Davineba. Some Ghanaians can just not let it go so easily.
On the international front, hip-hop's first billionaire Jay-Z and criminal justice reform advocate Meek Mill have inked a record label dedicated to the discovery and development of new musical talent. The two signed papers to a joint venture with Dream Chasers and Rock Nation in New York City, Rock Nation Midtown headquarters. Meek will oversee the label and build a staff to sign and develop artists. The two high-profile artists also expressed their intention to give back to the next generation.
Leading up to this point, it showed that he can carry that weight and that for the next generation of people. I mean, everybody can sign artists and make some money and brag about how hot they are for whatever period of time they get to be hot, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But for us, we look at the big picture for us. It's way beyond just signing artists and having a hot record.
We've been building for some years now, and of course I had offers to do a lot of business with others.
Right, let's now look at how Tilapia captured the major events of the past week from his lenses. That's Tilapia giving you something to taste, something of the past week. That's it for this edition of News 360. You can follow us on 3news.com for all the updates and news around the world. I'm Isa Moni.
And I am Poacher. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good evening.